Okay, today is January 7th. I will demonstrate KonaWare Core Messaging Distribution 6. Right here, I will start by looking at the server context. Context, by the way, it's like a folder name. Like, let's say you have taking a lot of folders for today, and you call January 6th folder pictures, right? So tomorrow you took more pictures. You got January 7th folder. A context is really the directory name. It's the instance of that release that you have. Every time you have a co-release, you put the WAR file in, it creates a new context, if depending if you want to override the previous context or not. So that's a context. And so what I did is I need to create a load on startup global context so I could have a global variable that could share stuff. You can say it's a static variable to share stuff, but in case I designed not to create a static variable right here, is a pointer gateway is a pointer points to the instance of the KMP gateway. Uh, but so this KMP gateway is called load on startup. So it's a global servlet that dispatches the post and a get request to the subsequent servlet, right? So this is the routine right here. The do post KMP gateway, and and this is the service. This is the exact. This is the uh, do post. I'm just testing this right here, but this is the actual call. Is a service call that that you call init right here. Initializes the instance for inter-process communication, and I have this pointer that points that particular campy points refers to this, so it can share this uh, stuff like that. So I can initialize database and stuff like that on this global call. The actual call is the KMP right here, and the do get is very simple. It has a wrapper, the KMP messenger wrapper. It gets the header and a text, the integer, these atoms, and it creates atom. And so eventually I had to create a hash map. So that's layer one. This is we're dealing with layer one right here, which is the ICMP messaging. We'll demonstrate the ICMP packet at the client side right here. And the do post is much more complicated because it doesn't rely on the URL. The URL to get parameters. You could get parameters using a print writer, which is a new line right here, and you implement new types right here. Implement a new octet stream type right here. So the octet stream is part of the spec for HTTP. All you have to do is just read line right here, and you're able to get uh, a multi body right here. So if you wanted to get the entire blob or binary, so you have to you have to implement uh, a different request call, maybe a do post request with a different type to get just like let's say you want a GIF, right? So that is another independent HTTP request, right? But you can implement it, and the file type right here would be like KWGIF right here. So this is the post, and you could have multi body. The difference between multi-line and multi-body. Multi-line is something that you implement. Multi-body is that MIME is stuff that body type. It's the standard of the MIME uh, spec right here. So let's move on to the client side. The client side, it's KonaWare. Right, sorry, so this is KonaWare right here. The three classes, the Java class that you need to know on the client side will be this is the menu, the develop menu, the interface. So you could see it's like power tools basically. It's like board shell or TCL tool command line that interface into the kernel system as well as the system call of KonaWare. The KonaWare system call would be SDK. It has a username, password. You connect to it, and then the kernel call would be a Java interface. And so I'll show you This is the kernel call. It's called global state operation. So these are Java objects. It's like power tools, commandlet. You understand? I create these commandlet. So it has a check area that points to it. So this is like a standard zero pipe on Unix. So you could debug things. It has built-in, so you could print stuff on it, and you create like so. There's four types: kernel, system, file, and cloud. We're looking at the kernel system and how that works. Is you just create a class that implements a file exec callable, right? And it has to do exec routines, which calls a file. Then eventually, you have URL, and you have a native IO that could be called to interface, and so you could make different calls right here. This is a system level call, provision, and just file create. So there's no kernel call yet. So I actually do a kernel call exec. Right, where's the file exec? It calls various system. Now it sounds a lot very confusing. So I'm gonna do a run through, and so you have a better understanding how it works. The first thing I should do is launch the KMP. Here it's launching. It's starting. Okay, okay, okay. Like always give it error because you have to put KMPGateway to it, and so the gateway. So this is the context. Four is the context right here, right? Sometimes I have previous version, so I don't want to just always delete it. I want to keep them, so I have four right now as the context, and this gateway dispatches to the KMP. This is KMP, but this is a relay because it creates a global class for interprocess communication, like the database resource sharing. And so now I'm going to launch the client. And when you, so I talked about earlier about the system level where you connect using SDK. That's right here. But so this is BIOS, and yeah, it's set the working directory. You could ignore this actually. I guess so. This is development. This is like the application level. You could like Adobe Premiere, and you could create new files, and then and this is browsing right here. I'm gonna connect to it. Let me service right here. Change this to KMP4 and KMP Gateway. Okay, and I do a get request. There you go. Do a post request. Oops. So the post return. Okay, so I just modify the post. It's not in sync. But if you get rid of the gateway, I think the post works. Okay, the relay doesn't work because there's extra code to it. That's buggered up. But the post works on the direct gateway, so I had to look into the modification for that. Um, and then we have the upload. This is multi-body right here. I haven't implemented that one yet. And so and now I connect to it. This is the connection. I put tools, and send stuff to it. So this is the REM browser. You also have a REM browser at the deployment too. This is local like that, and so it's shared. I'll be implementing more on that. With that, that's the KonaWare core messaging. I will upload this on the internet for everyone to see. Thank you.